Hi everyone, John Gibbs here. Putting together a video today walking you through a preview of the new website. Christine and I have been diligently working and ready to show you the direction that we're headed and starting to get some feedback. So let's just dig in. So right off the top, logo top left, navigation across the top, and big hero image that rotates through four different images. The purpose of this video is for a few different things. One, it's to start defining elements. Like one of the next things we'll want to do is determine our page hierarchy. Are these the pages that we want to use up here? And then if we scroll over any of these pages, will we have a list of services, or will we have a list of options, things like that. So determining the page hierarchy. This is all very flexible and fluid, really just suggested text and organization of the content, as well as filler, some placeholder imagery, and placeholder text. It's really just to build out a framework. So I want you to be able to come back through here and say, maybe John, we only want one slide, or maybe we actually have 10 slides we need to put in here. So somewhere in between there, typical balance is around 3 or 4. But everything from the titles to the subheadings to the buttons, all customizable. One thing we built in that we discussed was really having this phase one survey front and center. When they come to the website, they can't miss it. We could even put it up here in this area where this blue button is calling it out, but I thought this had a nice kind of blend. As they come to the home page, they have a landing page, and they'll immediately see the phase one survey option. So you start to scroll down the page. We've pulled some text from the old site. Again, worth customizing, suggested buttons to go different places in the website. And you'll see now we have some logos that scroll through in a carousel. And I know one thing, we'll speed this up so it's a full speed carousel without this shaking, because I know that's something Jeannie mentioned. The services, we're starting to scroll down this homepage alone, and we're trying to give a sampling of everything. Here are your services, here are clients, capability, meet the team, things like that. So that's something to keep in mind. And often when you look at something like this, how we try to divide our services, again, it's just suggested. Maybe phase 1, 2, and 3 should really be highlighted. And these other ones can only be on the services page. Or maybe there's one in particular here that's popular that should be highlighted. Or maybe we're actually dealing with 6 boxes instead of 8, in which the layout might look a little bit differently. So again, as we're thinking about our pages and what we want our services to be, we really just pulled this from your current services listed here. So it would fall back on your team to develop the content for each of these. And I know you do. You have mentioned that you have the content, and getting about 300 to 500 words for each of these topics to go on those pages. So just curious about that direction as far as the navigation, the page hierarchy, and the service pages that we want listed on the website. Something worth mentioning here is, often people will look at this 2 different ways, and this is I would call it a full color, lots of design, the text is on top of an image. I really do think it pops. It's a bit more modern. There are ways to do scaled back versions of this where it's more grid system. It almost looks like cards floating on top, but just wanted to show you this one as we start to dig into the website, because that's also what we're looking for. We're looking for feedback on everything from the colors to the, there are 2 different fonts. We'll eventually get to here, the look and feel page, where you can explore some fonts that we'll see here on the website. But we're still scrolling down the home page. We call these 50/50 boxes. These are great ways to supplement some of the highlights and text on the website. This would drive them to all services, the services landing page. And this might send them to meet the team where they can learn about bios. And, maybe this is a photo of the team or a group shot or something like that. So really just giving you the framework to fill in some blanks, to fill in some content of what you would like to highlight on the home page. Including a blog feed. This is something that could be used as news. This could be something that could be used as recent projects, and we'll show you these in the future, but this is just a feed of the most recent ones. Eventually, we'll have a footer on the website too. I'll typically do contact information again, sometimes a testimonial, or if there's another logo or accreditation that would work well to align yourself at the bottom of each page. That would be a good way to add a new footer. So it's something to think about when we talk about the footer and both the header areas. These are going to remain the same on all pages. So no matter if you're on here on the home page or you're on the contact page, you're going to have this same header and you're going to have this same footer. So those are just global options. Feel free to come to this site directly. You'll see a lot of these are just placeholder text. We've got a look and feel page for you to explore some font choices, some color choices. If you ever need to reference any colors, we have them listed here. You could talk about them. Maybe you like different palettes. Maybe certain tones would go better than others, as well as some fonts. Mostly on the website here, you're going to see Montserrat and Open Sans through here in the large text, complementing each other, some bold, some not. So again, welcome any feedback on what you like, whether it's all caps versus lowercase too. You know, something we notice here within the logo, it's all caps. So sometimes maybe doing all large headlines in all caps would be an option. That's really just a branding choice. The services page really just has a snapshot of those services we have on the home page and how we would complete this. But I typically like to do something where you can click on services and you have a snapshot of all of them. And there's also a drop down. In my opinion, I think you should be able to scroll over services and at least see phase one and maybe some other options. The clients page, this is typically going to be, if you think about it, mostly logos, testimonials. Maybe you have a featured property or featured site or featured dig that would be a great place to highlight. I know you mentioned Pirates Wharf. So, you know, I'd like to, as you're gathering the content, I want to be able to be flexible in how we should showcase these pages. Maybe we show the Pirates Wharf one right up front and then do a logo carousel of logos, or maybe a simpler, more professional where we just list company names. And once you gather that content and we have that to start working with, we can show you a variety of samples. Same thing with capability statement. I know you said you were going to rework all that text internally. We did want to show you a suggestion for a news. This would be almost the blog, the news, recent work, things like that. And you can see this is just placeholder with some photos and some articles, but this top area rotates through your three most recent posts. We've got an author, a title, and then they can click through to read the article. If you scroll down the page, we use some duplicate posts, but really just to show you how this will evolve over time. You'll have your three most popular ones at the top, or I'm sorry, three most recent at the top, and then this is an archive. And this will eventually grow to years and years. I was thinking of a different category. You know, sometimes everything can fall in the news bucket. Sometimes it's nice to have a separate topic. I don't know if it is press release, maybe it is, but whether it's press release or videos or something like that, just another way to not just have a blog feed, but have some additional content and let them explore. Even going into one of these posts, they're all built out. So we now have this header area with a title, a date, author, as well as some text. Let's actually maybe do a longer one. I think one of these has a bit more to it. There we go. I get to the bottom of the page, I can see the next post, the previous post. And just to give you an idea, you know, let's say this is recent work instead, and we say this is the Maryland Avenue site, whatever it may be. And then we can embed photos on this page. It could be a series of text and photos, so they almost have that story of scrolling through the site, reading some text, seeing some photos, looking at gallery. That's kind of where we're headed with all of this. There's some social media shares. On the contact page, just some structure built out for you to share. Do we want to add the form? I know we talked about a few different options, what we want this contact information to say, and so on. So feel free to come to this development site directly. I'll include the URL. This is where the site will evolve, so you'll be able to follow the progress here and provide feedback. So hopefully this is a good framework for you to continue gathering content, sharing photos, sharing content, and organizing what we'll be adding to the website over the next few weeks. All right. Thanks, everyone. If you have any questions, let me know. Take care.